Howdy, strangers. This week we're talking about our idols. Yes, many of mine are American. I am pointing this joke out here so that there is no need to use it in comments. Thank you. Instead of just listing a few of my idols, I've decided to talk about this whole business of idolatry, using some of my idols as examples. Usually idols are people you want to be like, so most of my idols are people doing what I want to do and doing it well. For example, I'm a writer, and I want to write for television, so some of my idols are people like Tina Fey and Joss Whedon. I watch something like 30 Rock or Buffy, and I think, wow, this is a fantastic show. Someday I want to write a show that's just as great as this. And so I look up to their creators. And some people become idols by having an inspirational personal story. Eddie Izzard, for example, is an idol of mine. Now, he could easily have earned that title through his stand-up alone because he is fantastically funny, and stand-up comedy is another thing I want to succeed in someday, but he has accomplished so many other things. First of all, coming out as a transvestite, especially at the time he did, was very brave, and I admire that courage. Second, Eddie has this willpower that I really aspire to have someday. He's been doing comedy shows entirely in French for years now, which is impressive enough, but for this tour he learned German and did his entire show in German in Berlin. Next he's going to learn Spanish, and then Arabic, and yes, his current tour is the most extensive comedy tour ever. And yes, I saw him live earlier this month. It was awesome. And that's not even mentioning all the marathons he decided to start running at the age of 47. It was 43 marathons in 51 days. He is my idol. But the person I idolize above all others is a man whose work has continued to inspire me and move me and just make me enjoy life so much. And that man is Stephen Sondheim. To get a feel for how deep this one goes, let me just say that those squares on my wall represent all of his shows, and I know them all ridiculously well. These are his books, and I refer to them often. And this is a Sondheim doll my friend Mark made me for Christmas. I never travel without it. If I'm ever having any stress or emotional problems, there is always a Sondheim song that can help. Not just make me feel better by distracting me, but actually address the issue and help. I find that Sondheim's work is a lot like Shakespeare's in that it really speaks to the human condition. There are so many times in my life that would have been so much harder if it weren't for Stephen Sondheim. If I could ever create something that affected even one person as deeply as that, mission accomplished. I'll see you next week.